Hi, it's Eugene for Profilm. Today I'm going to show you how to install a tinted headlight paint protection film. You will buy these sheets 1 meter by 20 inches wide. That will be enough to cover most headlights. Most cases you'll cut that in half, or half in the length, and it'll be enough to cover 2 headlights. First of all, make sure the car is clean as always. Then we're going to wet that headlight with our soap solution, which is our baby shampoo mixed at 5 milliliters baby shampoo to a liter of water. Our tack solution is going to be the standard 20% isopropanol alcohol to 80% water. Use a clay bar to go over the headlight, make sure it's nice and clean. Go over it a couple of times just to make sure you get any of the contaminants or oils, bug splatter removed from the headlight. Soapy water over that. Use a detailer's brush, get around the edges. This film obviously is going to sit within the edges of the gap between the headlight and the adjacent panels. Once you've done that, give it a decent wipe and then inspect the headlight to see if you can still see any contaminants, any dirt. The film comes with a cap sheet, so here I prepared my sheet. It's slightly bigger than the headlight, but what I have to do first is remove the cap sheet so that I can expose the film. Now if I bend the film slightly, it'll create a little tunnel from where I can grab the cap sheet that protects the film. I'm going to remove that cap sheet, that in the bin, and then my film's ready to go. You don't have to cut it with a plotter, so that you have the exact template. You really want to get this right on the edge of the headlight so that you don't see the actual edges of the film. We're going to follow the same procedures that you would for PPF installation. So you tack the film on the inside here. Obviously you want to stretch it, tack solution on the outside as well so that you can tack the film down. You have to pull the film really tightly so that you stretch out all the fingers, and it's important not to leave any fingers sat up, because when you're finished installing the film you don't want to be fighting those fingers. That will cause lines and marks to form. We'll start with the installation. First thing, spray a soap solution on the headlight. Just a light misting is enough. Then remove the liner or the backing sheet from the film. Tack solution on the inside, soap solution on the film as well. Place your film on the headlight and make sure it covers all the extreme edges of the headlight. So we'll lay it up there. If your headlight has like a twist or a curl or whatever, keep that in mind for when you have to stretch it. So as I'm looking at it now, this looks right. I can see there's an overlap at the top and the bottom. I've got enough film on the outside and I've got alcohol in there. I'm going to stick it on the inside. Before we squeegee on the film, spray some soap solution, slip solution on top of the film so the card slides easy over the film. Now obviously we've put some alcohol in there, so we're going to push towards that inside edge. We want that to tack and stay down. Test it and see if it's bitten. If it's not, lift it up, tack solution in there, which is your 20% IPA mixture with water. All right, that looks like it's holding now. We want to stretch this film out towards the other side. Now you can see when I'm pulling it, this panel, this bumper piece is basically stopping the film from lying flat. So I need to put a relief cut in there to allow the film to settle flatly onto the headlight. We'll pull a relief cut in there. Always round off your relief cuts so that when you put stretch onto the film, it doesn't tear into the area that you want to be leaving on the car. Then we're going to go towards the other side. Now that we have that, if we pull here, the film's going to go flat. It's looking good. Alcohol on the inside, on the headlight, and then alcohol on the panel. So anywhere where the film lies, it's going to kind of grip and hold. And then you're going to give it a stretch, give it an initial stretch, just see how it looks. You don't have to put it flat initially. Hold it there for a second or two. If you need a little bit more, give it a little bit more of a stretch. Make sure the film doesn't move on the inside. And then we're going to come through from the other side, start squeegeeing that water out. And obviously on this side, the extreme tip on this side has got alcohol in it. So by the time we get here, it's going to hold and it's going to stay on the headlight for us. If I look at this, I might have to do a slight adjustment in this area here. I can see there's a little bit of film that's bunched up. So I'm going to lift it up, give it a little bit more alcohol there, and then change my angle slightly, pull it up a little bit so I can get this bottom edge also to lie flat. Squeegee through that, through the top edge. That's looking better. So rather than a big bubble, I've got small fingers there now. Now, because I pulled that, This side's lifted up a little bit, so it's a bit of tension here. I'm going to help that along by just putting some alcohol solution in there, pushing it right up into that corner. And what I need to do is in this corner, to keep that flat, is give it a relief cut right here. Right, so I'll squeegee that out. You can see it lifts up. Take my knife here, and right there, just going to hold my knife there, don't cut on the card. And again, round off that relief cut so it doesn't tear. Alcohol solution inside, push it into that corner. Now because we've put that relief cut in there, we can push the film right under the headlight, which is going to help it hold on to the headlight, give us an opportunity to trim it into position. At this point we're pretty close to starting our trimming. We're just going to check everything, so it looks pretty good over there. Got a little bit of a bubbling over here, which I'm not too concerned about. Again, what I'm going to do here is just push it under the headlight. That's going to hold the film in position for me. That's going to allow me to trim that into place. So the next step is we trim the outside edge, and what we want to do is trim right on the black rim around the headlight to make sure that you can't see where the clear area transitions to the black, and obviously then cutting in that black rim means you can't see the edge of the film. Try not to cut and damage the headlight. You do that obviously by practicing your cutting. It's not as easy to hear a squealing sound on the headlight film as it is on normal PPF, so take care. Every trim you make, just give it a squeege. Obviously every time after you've made a trim, you can spray some IPA or alcohol solution or tack solution into that edge to make sure that it seals tightly. The alcohol aggravates the adhesive slightly and it holds right on that edge. Now at the bottom edge, it's not hidden under any of the panels, so I've got to take a little bit more care and look specifically for that blacked out edge. Do a little bit here from where our relief cut is, tear that away. Again, after the cut, push the film in there, follow that up with a bit of alcohol solution on that edge. Anywhere there's a slight lift, you'll manage to put that flat, and obviously the alcohol is going to help hold that onto the panel or onto the headlight. So trim the outside, trim the inside, just check that the film's lying flat before I do my trimming. I can use my card to help it along, hold it into position. Step by step, cut from corner to corner, from the corner to the center, and from the other corner to the center again, to avoid lifting your blade too high, causing damage to the headlight. Okay, so once you've trimmed it all back, everything's on. All we need to do is get rid of the fine fingers that are still left. You'll see on the extreme edges, maybe a little bit of a finger that's sitting up. Put your squeegee into a card before you use any alcohol, and just try and push that flat by drying the water that's inside that finger. As you can see there, it just goes flat with one swipe, which means all it wants is a bit of drying rather than heat. And we are going to apply a little bit of heat just to make sure the film stays in position. So that's the installation, a little bit of heating, and then we're done. So that's how you install our headlight protection film. Obviously you've got a bit of a tint in there. Currently what's on here is our 35% smoke. We have a 25% which is slightly darker, and then we have a 50% which is slightly lighter than this. Thank you.